Hello, welcome to darnthatyarn.com's crochet tutorial series, Beginner Basics. Today we'll cover slip stitch and how to finish off your work. I have a single crochet swatch made here so that I can show you how to do a slip stitch. We're going to do that on this last row here. We're not going to do a turning chain when we do a slip stitch. We're just going to go ahead and turn our work over. And then in that first single crochet stitch there, we're going to insert our hook, yarn over. We're going to draw through the stitch as well as the loop that's on the hook. Again, you're going to insert your hook into the single crochet stitch, yarn over, draw through both the stitch and the loop on the hook. That's a slip stitch. Now, when you do a slip stitch, you'll see it looks a little bit different than the other stitches. You can use a slip stitch to join work. You can use it as a finish. Sometimes in a pattern, it will call for a slip stitch for you to move over into the pattern without having to cut your yarn. But as you can see here, when you do a slip stitch, the right side and wrong side look are going to look similar, unlike other stitches. So you have your right side of your slip stitch, and you can see your V top that you would have on most of your stitches. However, when you turn your work over, you're also going to see what looks like the right side of the V-stitch pattern that you see on the top of most of your stitches. Look at it from the top, and it looks quite different. You don't have that normal V on the top that you would have to work in. You have two sets side by side. That's a slip stitch. Okay. Now, to finish off your work, you're always going to have the one loop at the end. You're going to basically do a chain stitch, but you're going to tug that chain stitch tight. That's going to make your knot at the end of your work. What you want to do at this point, depending on the type of stitch that you're doing, you want to leave 4 to 6 inches. If it's a smaller, tighter stitch like a single crochet, you can usually do the shorter amount. But if it's an open, lacy, looser type of stitch, you want to go ahead and get a little bit of extra yarn at the end there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up about 4 inches. Cut my yarn. Pull the skein end of the yarn out. Now I'm going to use my darning needle. Go ahead and put the ends through the eye of the darning needle. And you can work this going the same way as your stitches, or you can work it down the side. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you put the needle between stitches. So if I'm going to use this side, I'm going to go back and zoom in a little bit so you can see. I'm going to try and go to stitches as close to where I'm at as possible. And I'm going to go through these 2 stitches, which are part of the single crochet from the previous row. Those 2. Those 2, and I'm going to work my way down. Now you can see I am going between the work. What you don't want to do is you don't want to weave the needle in and out through your stitches through both ends. You want to work it through the center of the stitches that you have there. And you want to go several inches. The longer you do it, the more secure your end's going to be through washings and use. But you're going to go ahead and put your darning needle through there. Give it a little tug. Pull your end out. Now it might bunch up as you pull that, so you want to kind of just a slight tug, not to stretch your work out too much, but to make sure it's not gathered with that stitch either. And then go ahead and snip off your end. And that is how you finish off your work. You also want to do that with the beginning piece of thread and hide it just exactly the same way, weaving through the stitches. You have a nice well hidden end that shouldn't come loose. There you go.